Along with Devon Pouncey, I'm Gareth Kwok, and joining us on the broadcast is Blazers player development coach Ryan Gomes, and the former 8-year NBA vet. How's it going, Ryan?
Man, everything's going well, gentlemen. How are you guys?
We're doing well, man. Doing well. Glad to have you here joining us. And how you enjoying some G League basketball action? You came to be a part of the Blazers organization at the same time that the remix came about last season. How you been enjoying your role in being able to kind of work with the G League affiliate as well?
Yeah, I love it, man. I was basketball is an all-world thing. I was a G League player as well. So coming back and working with the top team, but also giving game and giving knowledge to these guys who's trying to be on that permanent roster in the NBA is always a great thing. We're all teachers of the game, and when you have a lot of experience, you'll be able to go ahead and share your knowledge with others and help them explore their gifts and help them get to where their ultimate dream is consistently.
As Weems flips it in, well, you've had stops along the way in Boston, Minnesota, the Clippers. Just what's it been like now being on the other side and coaching these guys?
Oh, man, I tell the players all the time, man, coaches don't get days off. As a player, you get days off, but a lot of film to be scouted, a lot of, new things you want to give to your players and see what they do best and what they don't do and teach. So I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm learning a lot, especially from our head coach, Chauncey Billups, and all the other coaches that are on our staff, because experience goes a long way, and you think you know a lot, but every day we're learning something new about each other and about the game.
I know you work with the forwards in your role in particular. Obviously, as a player, you are a forward as well. We've had some guys that have played with the remix that also play up there with you all. Chris Murray, one of those guys. I know Ryan Rupert kind of can be a guard, a two-guard if he needs to be, but also can play that forward role as well. What's it been like being able to work with those guys in your player development role?
It's been wonderful, man. Those guys who are young players who are trying, like you said, to find their niche, to find their way, what their special attribute is, because when you first come in the league, you can do a little bit of everything, but now you got to mold yourself and get into a team and show the coaching staff exactly what you do extremely well. So keep honesty with those guys and keep them to work on the things that they need. Shooting is the #1 thing in this league right now. If you look at all the teams around with the remix and the G League and in the NBA. So shooting is one of the main things that we work on with a lot of our guys, especially forwards, because most teams will go 4 guards out on the perimeter and then 1 big. So, shooting could be such a deadly weapon.
And those two have hit a lot of big shots. Last year, Rupert shot a fairly high percentage from beyond the arc in that catch-and-shoot action. I've seen Murray hit some big shots this season, catching and shooting as well. And so I would assume that, that's one of those things that you have to lock in on and just get reps over and over again to be able to just catch and shoot, because guards are going to find you and you got to be able to knock it down.
You definitely have to do that. And then also, get into the basket, because if you have a shot that you can continue to make and make the defense play you honest, now pump fakes and dribble attacks and now get into the rim and making the right decision. So those are the big things we harp on, is shooting a 3 and getting to the rim and having the right decisions, no matter if there's shot blockers down there or just small come over to take a charge, just reading the defense as soon as you get by your first defender.
Mania foul, they'll go to the line for a free throw. Blazers player development coach Ryan Gomes and the 8-year NBA vet joining us on the broadcast. I'm sure the G League has changed a lot since the days you were around the game, and just how much have you seen it evolve since then?
Well, I've seen it evolve a lot, especially, coming to these games even last year. The #1 thing I see or notice, as we just seen right there, is 1 free throw for 2 points. So the speed of the game is what has changed the most. Making the game exciting, making it more, not a lot of dead periods in part of the game. And then, like we were just talking about, the shooting. You look at all these teams that, the three-point consistency has gone up a lot around the game of basketball. So those are the big 2 different things that I've noticed. Now, I know, of course, as we know in the playoffs and when it gets late in the season, you see a little bit more half court, a little bit more posting up, a little bit more of those things. But everything is to the rim, as we see here, and shooting 3s. And that's why you have to have your specialty, because every team around the league is doing it, and the PPP is so high in those 2 areas that you want to have exceptional guys on the floor that could do that at a high clip.
Prior to working here with the Blazers, you also were a head coach in OTE. which I think has been a good little wrinkle inside the basketball world at large. Minaya knocking down the three. Both Providence guys.
I was waiting to get my time to shine and say something about my Providence people that came through here. So, you know.
Go for it. We'll get to OTE after.
Yeah. Go Friar. So, you know, Justin Minaya, and then we just the Remix just acquired A.J. Reeves, who is also another Providence Friar. Right. So we got our PC connection up in here and out here in Oregon, which I'm excited about and I'm happy about to work with these guys. I worked with Justin a little bit as well. Tumani Kamara, McGowan's, he was on our when I was at the Summer League this year. He was with us. So Henry Durrell as well. So there's a lot of guys. Tajay Moore. So even though I'm a forwards coach, we all coach each other. We coach every player on the Blazers. So it's been a great thing for me to learn from, like I said, those guys and be able to tap in all different avenues of basketball. Because one day, hopefully, I'm a head coach and I'll know every position and know the ways to teach guys how to play.
Looks like we got a challenge on the floor here.
Yeah, Bryce McGowan's called for an offensive foul, but Sergio Oliva is going to use his second challenge and take a look at this here at the monitor. Ryan Gomes with us, Blazers player development coach. You and Pooh both brought up in the same year last year. As we take a look one more time at this offensive foul.
I'm curious what your thoughts are about the challenge rules, because that's a newer thing still in the NBA. As a coach for you, when do you think challenges should be taken? Are you strategic about how challenges should be taken? I know obviously it's up to the head coach, but y'all have influence over there on that bench. You got film that you're looking at on the bench to tell the head coach, like, hey, go ahead and challenge it or to hold off.
Yeah, there's certain protocols that I think every team goes through and seeing which play should be deemed a challengeable play. Of course, change of possession, and of course, scoring plays.
Yeah.
Block charges is kind of difficult to gauge, but some of the reach-ins on threes or some of if the ball goes out of bounds and a guy got fouled before it went out of bounds, those are the ones that you want to make sure that you get correct the most times, because the block charge ones are the close ones. Or if a guy didn't land correctly when he shot a three-point attempt and they didn't call it, that's when we can go ahead and check those replays as well. So there is protocol in every team, and we follow a strict protocol with our guys to try to give us the best outcome to keep our challenge, because if you lose the first challenge, then going into the fourth quarter you might need it and you lose a timeout. So you can't, even though you only got about 7 seconds to make that decision.
It's quick.
You got to be on top of it pretty quickly, and like you said, we have cameras right there behind the bench that we can get a quick view on it, and we got to get the signal to coach as soon as possible.
Yeah, the first time I really noticed that was at Summer League. We get a call here.
Offense change, number 25 on the Warriors. Just prior to upward motion, so we're going to go side out with
Here goes the successful challenge.
Sergio Oliva, he's done it again.
Yes, he has. He's been really successful with this challenge calls here, especially at our home games. If I was a betting man, I would bet on him being successful whenever he decides to challenge a play. But, yeah, I noticed that, in Summer League, I would watch y'all during Summer League. I was sitting right behind the team's bench, and whenever y'all were ready to call a challenge or considering challenging a call, I would just watch the whole assistant coaching staff just go right to the head coach. I believe it was Jonah, who was the head coach at Summer League, and y'all would just get his attention within 7 seconds, like you said, to challenge the call. It was real interesting to be able to see.
Johnson for three, Henson offensive rebound, and Warriors convert on the third chance. Javen Johnson, another guy who got some run with the Blazers Summer League team, right, Ryan?
Yes, he was with us this past summer for Summer League, and then I know you guys did the games last year, and Knox was with us as well. Kevin Knox was now with the Santa Cruz Warriors, worked with him some last year as well. So, this league, and what I try to preach to these players is, even right here playing in the G League, is like you're getting it scouted and evaluated every moment. There's scouts in the gym right now that some of these guys might not know, not with the Blazers or the Warriors, with other teams, because they're evaluating. There's talent all around this G League, and I tell these guys every day, take advantage of your opportunity, because even if they're not here in person, which sometimes they will be, this film is going around everywhere. It's on YouTube right before the game's over, where people are looking at it and they can evaluate what you do. They look at the box score first, but the box score don't sometimes show the whole product of who you are as a player, because certain teams need certain things. So, you got to go out there and put on a performance every time you get out there, and that's the value of this game of basketball, and it can bring so much success to you at different levels.
Bryce McGowan's making the free throw, 22 points for Bryce to lead the Remix. 5-point lead for Santa Cruz.
Good defense. Good defense, Henry.
Yeah, Rowe rolled his foot there.
I still haven't forgotten my question about OTE. We had a player last year, Jay-Zion Gorman, who was an OTE guy.
Hey, I didn't mean to cut you off, but Jay-Zion Gorman, the first year we were at OTE, I was his coach.
Yeah.
First year at OTE. Him, Dominic Barlow, who was with the Austin Spurs as well. So we had them. Those were our first guys to get drafted out of OTE now, or to play into the NBA. And then worked with the Thompson twins, one who's in Detroit Pistons and one who is in Houston with the Houston Rockets. And then this number 2 pick this last year, Alex Sarr, Tyler Smith as well, who's with G League Ignite. He left overtime with the G League Ignite last year, and now is with the Milwaukee Bucks. So like you said, when overtime came around and started that league, it was before NIL.
Yeah.
It was before the colleges started being able to endorse players and pay them for their services and their likeness, name, image, and likeness. So some of those kids that we had who are now grown up into young men took their advantage and were successful. Some of them are playing overseas right now. Some of them made it all the way to the top, and some of them was number 2 draft pick.
Yeah.
It was a flurry. It's a flurry of everything, but the development piece of what overtime brought in Coach Kevin Ollie, who I was underneath, and Coach Dave Lado as well, and then Coach Tim Fanning, who's now at BYU. Those guys were instrumental to me and helped me grow and helped me get the opportunity to be here with the Blazers. So, you know, we all prepped up and went up another level in our success with the game of basketball. And I was just like an overtime player, and I was just an overtime coach.
All these UConn connections, Devon.
Yeah.
UConn connections galore in this Blazers organization, huh?
And we see Big Donovan over there sitting courtside, and, you know, I'm from Connecticut. You know, me and Donovan are only 10 minutes away from each other, the cities that we both grew up and were born and grew up in. So I give him a lot of heat because he's a Husky, but because I was a Friar. So,
yeah.
but now I still got to give him some game when we out there on the court because I got to do my job as a coach. But you know, there's a lot of Big East connections here in Portland as well.
Ryan Gomes, Blazers player development coach, with us here on the broadcast. Marcus Burke at the line after he was fouled by Tyson. Post tips it to Noes. Ahead to Weems. Weems avoided the defender initially, but then couldn't convert the layup.
I'm curious what that transition is like for you. I was talking to Mark Tollefson, who's an assistant over there for Santa Cruz right now, and he and I played AAU together back when we were in high school. He played at University of Arizona and overseas as well, and he was saying that the transition into coaching, which has been more recent for him, has been a little bit tough because you used to being a player. I talked to Mo Charlo, who was an assistant for South Bay a couple games ago. He and I both played at the same JUCO, and he was kind of telling me the same thing. So I'm interested for you, what's it been like transitioning from being a former player, playing professionally for as long as you did, to now being in the coach's seat?
Yeah, it is a transition because your competitive nature is just always there. You want to just, when coach calls a timeout, I still have that itch to, like, let me run out there and show you how to run this play.
Yeah.
Really fast. But I know I can't do that. So it is a transition because we love the game and we know how much it brought to each and every one of us. So I think your competitive nature, but, you know, I also we got to be real with ourselves and knowing the speed of these guys, some of the moves that these guys do now, they were not even existent. So I know if I get out there and try to guard my standard way, I might get blown by because I ain't got the same stamina that I had before. But I do enjoy it, and Coach Billups gives us a good time to get out there and go against the players sometime and just be good teachers and not just rebounders and passers, but try to influence and actually play against them in small settings to help them identify what exactly we're saying, and not only just by watching it on film, but actually demonstrating it. So it is a transition because you don't get the win and loss as a player, but your win and loss is hoping that the player that you're working with, or the players that you're working with, they see their development each and every week, each and every month. And by the end of the season, you see a full project of what you helped instill into what their natural ability was already.
Noes travels. Well, you were drafted in 2005. Did you and Chauncey ever face off against one another?
Yes. Big Shot, man. Big Shot was one of my favorite players when I was coming out. I played against him when he was in Detroit and when he was in Denver, and then we were teammates one year when he was in Los Angeles.
That's right.
1 year in Los Angeles. So me and him had a relationship as competitors and as teammates as well. So I did bump up against Chauncey a few times in the NBA.
5-point lead for Santa Cruz. Ryan Gomes, Blazers player development coach, with us on the broadcast. On rebound for Santa Cruz. Collins flying, dishing, row 3. That's good.
The tempo is crazy at this level, man.
The tempo is crazy, and as we're seeing, like, you know, people who are watching, you know, to run and sprint to those corners and to get to that paint first, and then being able to go ahead and find shooters on the perimeter, that's a high-value thing in the NBA world. You know, guys, we want layups. Of course, layups and dunk are the highest percentage shots that we want to get. But if you could get to that paint, you know, that's the most thing that everyone wants to protect. And if you've got an outlet guy on the wing or in the corner, and they can knock down shooters, then, you know, then your offense is looking really, really special. And as you can see, the more attempts you get, the more chances you have to score that shot.
Final 50 seconds here of the third. Rip City led by 10 at the half. Now it's an 8-point Santa Cruz lead, their largest lead of the game. Post driving, Manley swatting it, but foul on the big fella.
Yeah, no layups. You know, you see the momentum is kind of going in their favor a little bit right now. Ever since the start of the third quarter, if I'm not mistaken, they went on like a 15-0 run to start this quarter. So they, you know, Santa Cruz is feeling pretty good. I know we lost Tajay. He didn't come out in the third quarter, so a little bit of that spirit probably went away. But fourth quarter, I think we'll be locked back in and take care of our home court.
It's been an 18-point swing here in this third quarter, make it a 20-point swing now after that made free throw counting for 2. Tajay Moore is back out here, though. Unfortunately, he's still been dealing with that hip injury, I'm assuming. And he's back out in street clothes. So I talked about him at halftime, Gareth, and how much he was valuable to this remix team in the first half. Unfortunate that we don't have him here for the second half.
Buck Knight's got to put one up. McGowan's catch and shoots. And Rowe the rebound. Henson will pull it back out, and Santa Cruz will settle for the final shot of the third. Another third quarter response for the Warriors for a second straight game against Rip City. Beekman losing it. Deflected off of Rip City. 2.1 to go.
Well, they call them the third quarter dubs for a reason, huh? Don't matter if they're in San Francisco or Santa Cruz.
You're right, you know, that third quarter flurry that they always put on no matter where. Like you said, if they're up in Golden State with Steph Curry and those guys, or they're here with the Santa Cruz Warriors, third quarter is where they get their energy. It's Kevin Knox right here.
It's a trickle-down effect. 2.1. They go to Knox. Fading away. Tip. No. Ryan, appreciate you joining, man.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks, gentlemen.
so
I'll be back again if y'all need me. I'm here. All right, pleasure talking to you.
We appreciate it.
Ryan Gomes, Blazers player development coach, with us